Yeah, hi guys, how you doing? Hope everybody's okay. I'm Russell, and this is Chris.
I'm Chris.
Yeah, we always talk about issues, issues. And my issue today, and what upsets me today, is about Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump. Now he loves Donald Trump, and as they say, Donald Trump makes, he does say some right things. Doesn't mean he should be president, and that's my belief. So, what do you believe about? Why do you want Mr. Donald Trump to be president?
Well, first of all, I think Donald Trump is a pretty successful businessman. He's a little bit crazy, but some of the things that he has to say make sense to me, and I don't think he's the worst option that we have on the table right now.
Okay, and I respect you with your views again, with what's his name again, or Donald Trump. Okay, everybody can make the same views and be right with what Donald Trump is saying. But my belief with Donald Trump, he sounds like he's crazy. Sounds like he wants to start World War III. I mean, you gotta see what he talks about when he says Benghazi. Let's invade all these countries and let's show them that we're the strongest military force in the world. We are the strongest military force in the world, and I don't believe we need to show this kind of strength, because they already respect us that way. That's my personal belief. So Donald Trump, with me, is an X on being Mr. President. I don't want World War III. Yes, sir. So who else will you say should be president of the United States besides your great friend Donald Trump?
Well, I'm looking. Actually, I haven't looked too much, to be honest with you, but I'm always up for Republican side.
Of course.
I have beliefs. My beliefs lean towards the Republicans. I believe in our Constitution. I believe in, there's a certain way of doing things in this country. And I think we need a president, a strong leader that is going to unite us and not, separate us between.
I'll give you guys some private time.
Yeah. He's not going to separate us as people, because I think that's the last thing that we need right now, to be separated. We already have enough enemies, and I think this is time to be united, settle our differences, and do what's best for this country. That's my take.
And I definitely am with you on that. And if we could find Democrat or Republican president that thinks like that and is very grounded and is not looking for a quick war, I'm with that president. So you and I come together on that issue. Now let's talk about ISIS. ISIS. What do you think about ISIS? I mean, do you think we should just put foot soldiers on the ground and get murdered right away? I mean, I'm sorry I have to say it like that, but that's how I, see it. How do you see it?
I think it's a very hard move. I think we shouldn't be the only country involved in, handling the world's issues. I don't believe in us taking actions into our own hands every time. I believe it should be more of a united effort on, what's right. And I know that there's a lot of things behind this war that's not what they tell us that it is. I know that there's a lot of oil, money.
Wow.
It's
I couldn't say better than that. I agree with you 100% on that one. Okay, wow. I gotta keep that.
Sorry to cut you off. I believe in taking care of us. Letting them know that we're a strong military force. Have our presence in certain places that invite us, countries that actually, like America, and that's about it. We have.
But don't you agree also with our enemy countries? We should at least still negotiate to make sure we keep the peace, because those enemy countries that carries nuclear weapons can cause harm to this whole world. So we gotta really keep them more on our side. Keep your enemy close. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer. I mean, I believe in that model. What do you believe in?
I believe that that's sounds good, but I believe that when we start bringing our enemies closer, then other countries that we're united with are looking at that and they're enemies with those countries, and I think we might lose some friends because we want to gain some enemies, and I don't think that's the right people that we need to be doing business with.
And that's understandable, but those friends that we have are all in the United Nations, so that means we all have to come together to make these decisions, not only one nation. So, we as America are not going to make that one decision. we go to the United Nations. Like, for example, let's talk about Obama, that everybody, that some of the people in America don't like the fact that Obama is doing negotiations with Iran, while Israel people are, some of them are not happy with Obama doing it, which a lot of other Israel and Jewish people do agree with Obama on what he's doing. Let's talk about that issue where, Obama himself, people don't realize Obama is not the only one doing this. He did go to the United Nations, and all the countries had come together, and they're all on that table sitting with Iran. They're all making a deal together. That's why I went to this, because of what you just said. And do you agree on what they're doing with this whole issue with Iran and negotiating and trying to keep nuclear weapons out of other people's hands and spreading it all over the Middle East?
Well, I believe that the world has many changes. I believe that if we're gonna go that route, that as the United Nations, NATO, whatever they consider themselves, need to really sit down and weigh the benefits and the pros and cons. And if it's something realistic, I feel like in the past we've gone into countries and we've armed rebels. We've done a lot of risky things that have come to bite us in the ass before. Which
other countries has done the same thing? We're not the only people that's done.
No, we're not the only bad, but we're the dominant force right now, and to stay that way, I feel like there's certain measures that needs to be done.
Now, what do you think when you see someone trying to make a point with their issues in our American government, and on the American soil they will take our American flag and burn it? What do you feel about that? What do you think? How's your feelings about burning the American flag?
Honestly, I feel like it's somebody coming, me opening the doors to my house and somebody coming in and burning my TV and spitting in my. I find that very disrespectful, and I find it funny how a lot of people come to this country and they're like, oh no, my country is the best country in the world, but they're still here and they're still enjoying, our freedom, our liberties, but for some reason they have hate against us,
And I agree with you, because the United States have more to offer than any country in the world, and it's a fact, any country in the world. That's why everybody in the whole world comes here. My family is from the islands, and they came here because of the idea of America. And I'm sure your family and everybody's here for the same reason, and we support America 100%. We abide by the laws. If certain things are voted in and that's the law, this is what we have to do. So you can't go against everything. That's
where I differ. I believe that as United States citizens, we're born with certain inalienable rights. That means nobody could take it away. For example, you're born with with many rights. The Second Amendment, to me, is important. He disagrees with me. We all have beliefs, and that's the beauty of this country, that we're able to talk about our beliefs and not one of us not get our heads chopped off. I believe that there's already laws in place for that, and if you're a felon or you're somebody dangerous, you lose that right. But I believe as human beings, free human beings, we have certain rights that nobody could take away. I believe that nobody could take away the right for my freedom of speech. I believe that nobody could take away the right of not searching my house without my consent. That's one of the things that I fell in love with America. My parents come from Cuba. I was born there, and it's very different over there. The people don't have no rights, and it's a huge government, and the people don't have a say. That's why, that's why I love this country so much, and I'm scared to change. I'm scared to change what the founding fathers put in us, because I feel like it's a certain system that protects us from a tyrannical government, or even another country trying to come after us. But that's just my belief. I was born in Cuba. When I came here, what I was taught was work hard, do your best, and you can be whatever you want.
I'm 100% with you on everything you just said, but I'm not against the Second Amendment. I'm just going to straighten that out with everybody. My issues with gun law, let's go to gun law, when we talk about Second Amendment, things like that. My issues are that I believe that we should have restrictions on certain people carrying such a powerful gun. Having a gun is like having a nuclear weapon. You know, you need someone who's grounded, who has common sense, who knows when to use it and when not to use it. And that's why people need to be licensed, need classes, need psychiatrists. You need to put all this together to have the right person with that gun. You don't want any man with that gun, because people have children, people have, families, and you don't want, somebody to take a life, which is a family member, which, you don't want a loss in your family, where you're going to be in pain, where your heart, is going to ache because of some man that is deranged and should not have a gun, has a gun. So that's my only issue with Second Amendment. I believe in the Second Amendment. I just don't believe anybody should be able to have this right that they already lost it. For example, convicted criminals, people who are just not sane and grounded. And if these things are proven from the psychiatrist, counselor, whatever it is that is dealing with the issue, I don't think that person should have a gun in their hand. So, yeah, that's my part. Now, another issue that I was going to talk about in America now is the Confederate flag. What do you think about the Confederate flag? And it's your personal, thought on, do you think the Confederate flag should fly on our government buildings alongside with our American flag, or do you believe our American flag should be the sole flag that represents America?
Well, let me start off by saying I don't know much about the Confederate flag, because in Miami, where I was raised, it's mostly Hispanics and blacks and very few whites. As a Hispanic coming from Miami, you see things differently than once you move up to Broward and different places. Miami is a very it's a very Hispanic and a very minority city, and I feel like a lot of these minorities feel a certain way against different classes and stuff like that. What I always used to get from the Confederate flag was it's more like it's white power or white pride. That's fine, but it might offend some people when a lot of people are using it as a hate tool. And I can understand that some people are hurt about it because it brings back memories from the past. On the other hand, I'm a little bit iffy about it, because I don't feel like if just because something offends me, like if it's a skull and bones, a flag that I don't like, I don't think I could just tell somebody, hey, look, you have to take it down, and change. And then, because then everybody's going to be bickering back and forth about this and that.
I agree with you 100% on that. But now my issue with the flag is that I think we should only have one flag that we salute to, and that we all love and we all believe in, and that's the American flag. Now, Confederate flag is history. It should go into the historical books, into the historic museums, things like that. I believe that people who believe in their Confederate flag, they have the right to fly it at any time they want, just not on federal grounds alongside with the the United States flag, because we should only represent one flag for the United States. We all have rights in America, and we should have the right to carry our own flag. If I want to put my flag up in front of my house, I could be able to do that, and anybody else should do it. Do I feel that the Confederate flag, what makes it sad is that there are real families behind that federal flag that sees that as their heritage, and it's not hate. But then you have this large amount of groups of people that use it as a hate symbol. So that really is the sad part. It's a delicate issue. I really can't talk about it. This is just some of my personal feelings on this flag. It does bring back memories, and to this day it's still promoted as a hatred flag, because you have so much hate organizations that use that flag when they hate. So it's sad that they allow this flag from history to be a hate symbol. I'm very sad about that. Let's talk about another issue here real quick, because I can see that he's a little antsy, and he's this is Chris, and
yeah, I was born without a personality. Yeah,
he has a great personality, and we like talking about issues. You should see him and I go at it. We practically almost kill one another sometimes in our issues. We talk, we go back and forth. Now, another main issue in America, which you know, we always talk about ISIS. ISIS is always like, yeah, ISIS. But I think it's well controlled. You know, because ISIS just looks huge to me. I mean, let's go back quickly to ISIS. Just looks huge because they're using, well, right now, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the next issue, because we're dealing with another issue right now. We probably have a fight. So we're going to go and break up the fight right now. Code red, right? So we're going to go deal with the issue right now. We're going to sign off. And don't forget, guys, we're coming back. This is just the first one. And we're going to talk about issues. Tell us more about what you think about what we're talking about.
Code red!